Hey everybody, I thought that I would just turn my camera on. I've been sitting here for a while this morning, just cutting some items out, some pieces of jewelry that I had set out earlier that had just kind of caught my eye. And I have got a new camera set up here, a new camera, and all of those things. And so I just kind of got it set up over my work area, and I thought I would just turn the camera on and just do some work. I am not 100% sure what I'm going to work on, but it is Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving Day here, and I am here by myself. I don't have my kids this week, and so everyone is celebrating Thanksgiving with their dad, which I am thankful that they are able to. But at the same time, as the mom, it's very, very difficult for me to not be there. So I am struggling pretty bad and have had a roller coaster of emotions for a while. Finally caught up with me yesterday, and had a lot of good cries, not good cries, had a lot of ugly cries yesterday and last night, and a big ugly cry this morning. And then I'm like, okay, I need to be doing something and working on something. So I started cutting these things out, and I've been working on this one. I cut this out. I thought it was really cool. I believe somebody sent this to me, and the light's going to be a little weird because I actually have a light right here that I've been using that I needed, so that I was able to cut this one out a little bit better. So I might move that after I get this one done. But I've been working on this one, and this one's been a little bit easier because these spaces have been big enough so that I've been able to use my really finely pointed scissors. So this is a thin magazine page, and my X-Acto knife blade is probably on the dull side because I'm really bad about remembering to change it. And magazine images, really detailed ones, can be difficult to cut out anyways, just because the paper is so thin and it really likes to snag and pull and things like that. So I've been lucky enough to where on this one I've been able to use my scissors. So that's just what I have been doing and working on just right now. I had to blow my nose talking about sharing those things with you just now. Got the feels working up a little bit again, and yeah. So anyways, I was thinking off and on since kind of yesterday. I need to get my glasses on so that I can see. I actually had my eye doctor figure out a pair of glasses for me, a prescription for me. They are progressive lenses, but since I do so much of this super detailed cutting out of things, of florals and whatnot, my regular glasses were not strong enough. And so I actually measured, I was working on something, and I measured the distance from where I would have my eye in distance from what I was working on. And he used that to help craft a pair of progressive lens glasses for me, just for me to use while I'm doing collage work, since whenever I'm cutting things, I hold things quite a bit closer to my eyes than when I do, when I have my regular glasses on. And those are also progressives, and, so I hold things at a different distance when I'm reading, when I'm using those. But these are quite a bit stronger, and they are wonderful. But I think that's all the inside pieces done. I was saving these on the end for last because they're kind of hanging on just by this little bit. I didn't want to accidentally rip any of them off, which happens, and if it does, then I just try to glue things back on. And I have no idea if I'm going to use this. I just was looking through my images the other day, and these kind of caught my eye, and so I set them out on my work area. And this morning, when I knew that I needed to get myself busy and start working on some things instead of sitting around inside my head, I thought this was a good place to start as far as things to work on. Next, I think I'm gonna do some gluing down of things in there. I've got several images with florals cut out, and they just need to be glued down. So as far as today, I think I'm just gonna have the camera on. I honestly don't know how much I'm gonna talk. I don't know how much I feel like talking. I was really wanting and thinking about doing a live stream today there for a while, just to be creative and to get online. And I know that there are other people who are alone today, or also just, I know everybody in the world doesn't obviously celebrate Thanksgiving. So while all of the festivities are going on here in the United States, it's just another day for, everyone else. So I thought about that quite a bit and went back and forth, and I tried to go live a couple months ago and was having problems with the sound. I was trying to do it through my phone, and the volume wasn't working well, and that was a little frustrating, of course. But also, I just kind of, in doing a live stream, and I used to do them a lot way back when I first started doing mixed media and art journaling. I used to do a lot of live streaming on Ustream, and that's kind of where I started, and that turned into sharing videos on YouTube. And so it's not like I'm not used to doing it. So there we go. There's that one. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I thought it was really cool, and it might work. I thought about maybe using it on one of my big collages that I do, the big framed ones. So I like having some things just cut out and ready to go to play with and mess around with whenever I'm just kind of feeling the inspiration to do so. So I'm just going to put those in that pile. This one, these are going to be a little bit more difficult to cut out, but I think that they would look really cool on something. I'm not sure if I want to do it right now. I kind of feel like maybe moving over into my journal. They really won't take too long. It's simple shapes, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I might set that to the side here for a minute. Let's get the journal out. Gotta clean up. My desk is a little cluttered, more than usual. I don't do well with visual clutter around me when I'm working. I like to keep things pretty tidied and my workspace pretty cleaned up. So I don't need that. I'm gonna set that over to the side. I've got a little end for this somewhere. I'm not sure where it ended up at. Oh, it's in here. Well, there we go. All right, I'm going to move this lamp. Because I don't need it in that spot. Hopefully that doesn't create too much of a glare. But let's see, we've got these pages here that need to be glued down. And I've got a clip here to hold this open. I think that works okay. And I've got these already cut out and ready to go. This one here is just about ready to break. Actually, it has broke one of the little vines. Let's repair that really quick, just so that it's sturdy and kind of held together better. I'm just going to grab a piece of paper from my little trash bag that I've got beside me, and I'm going to make a little band-aid here. And let's see. Right here it's torn, and right here it wants to tear. So I've got those two spots. I'm just going to cut a really thin piece of paper. Hold up. I don't want to get glue on my work area here. This is just a piece of parchment paper that I've been using to glue things on. So anyways, I tried live streaming once, and I'm not sure if it's something that I'm going to be able to do again for quite a while, and it took me a little bit of time to figure out why, but I finally kind of did after that one day. And where, okay, it's right there. That one's kind of short. Usually I'd use a little piece a little bit longer than that, but I'm going to be gluing this down here pretty quick. This whole piece down. I think what I will do instead for now, for today especially, since I am wanting to share and wanting to, you know, be working in my journal and just spending time with you all and sharing my process with you. I'm looking for something. Just a second, I need my glue. I don't have everything over here, and I'm sitting, and I usually do not sit when I work, and so, yeah, my chair is kind of squeaky whenever I get up and down, so I was looking for my mono adhesive, so that's what I like gluing down these larger images with in this journal. It's just good old mono adhesive. It's quick, and it's easy, and it's not messy, and it works well for being in this journal. Actually, I kind of wonder if maybe I should put these on first, because I'm not fully sure where I want to place this image, but I think if I have these adhered on here already, that will help me with where I'm going to put the image, unless I mark it, which I could do that too. So I think what I'm going to do today is just, I have no idea how long this is going to be. I really don't know what all I'm going to be working on. I can't tell you that I'm going to be talking a lot. It's very quiet here. I do have some meditation type music playing. I have my AirPods on right now. And because it helps me to have calming music like that playing in the background when I'm working in my journals. And the sad thing is that's something that I can't have on, you know, live while I'm videotaping, because of course that's a copyright issue. So if you need somebody to sit and work along with, then I am here. So I need to get this glued down. So this, you know, it's just going to be a quiet work along with me video. And what I'm looking at is this right here, as far as this right here. I'm just kind of trying to figure out where I want that to be. And I don't mind if any of this goes up on her face at all. I think that might be it. So let's get my glue. I'm just going to put some little dots. Just something to hold that on there. Got a little piece of t-shirt here. I'm going to go ahead and put this this one down. This glue dries very quickly, so it was even dried on there before I'd even gotten it flipped over. Part of it had already dried. thought I had some words clipped out for this that I was going to use on here, and I'm not really quite sure what happened to them. I know I was looking through here and I had pulled out a piece of paper, and then I decided to go make some tea and shut the book. That wasn't very smart. Wow, I can't believe that I did that. I'm not sure I'll be able to find it. I think this is it. I think that's it. Okay. I didn't cut it out, but this is the page. This is just a book that I got from the dollar store just to cut things out of. I've got several. Some books are better than others. I believe I'd had something else in my head for this page whenever I first started. I don't like how that has that tall eye. I'm gonna have to swap that out. And I don't want her. I had a different idea for this, I'm quite sure, whenever I first started working on this a while ago. And I forgot to write it down. And it was really very heavy in my mind for a while, for days, and I guess I figured that I wouldn't forget it, and I did. And so now I get to see where it takes me now. I need the word my, and I've actually got, that's all that's in here is me and my's. And there's a my right there. I'm just going to cut in off. I believe that the other word that I was going to use was on here. Not. the word that I want is not on there. I cut something else out that caught my eye. I have it's a box. I've got a couple of these. It's just full of phrases and the sentences, parts of sentences that I've found in books while I'm looking for maybe other things. If something catches my eye, I'll go ahead and cut it out so that I have it. And then at times I will, if I'm needing words or a phrase to put on something, I'll kind of go through that and see if I can find something that is saying what I'm needing to say. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to find the word that I'm looking for. There we go. And I'm going to have to kind of cobble two words together so that I can have the word that I'm wanting. I need to be careful so I don't lose things by blowing it away. Well, I let that dry. So what I'm doing is, the word I'm wanting is sadness. So I found the word sad, and ironically so, I found the word happiness. And I cut the ness off the happiness, and I am going to adhere it onto the sad and make the word that I'm needing. So I'm just trying to get it as even as I can to hopefully, oh, I'm having problems holding on to things today. There. Trim the top and bottom so that it's even. And there you go. All right, there's that one. This one I'm going to have to trim a little bit because it's not going to fit on there. Actually, I just might start that there. I think I might glue the big flowers down first. Oops. There. It's not too smart for me to be doing this on top of the image. That's why I just got glue on there. That was not a smart thing to do. Let me move this out of the way. I'm wondering if I should trim this image just a little bit. I think I might. I need to take this in to get it repaired. The ribbon does not spin when I type, so I need to check the spelling on something here. I am typing out some lyrics that are from a song called Ready to Start by Arcade Fire. Not sure if all right is one word or two words, or I feel like it's two words, but for some reason it's not looking right, which is always silly when that happens, when you see a word that you totally know how to spell and for some reason it decides to not look right. Thank goodness for the dictionary app. That's all I can say. Let's see. All right is two words, which I thought it was, and that's how I have it written down. But there you go. I picked this up in Walnut, Iowa, many years ago. Every year on Father's Day weekend, they have a huge, antique fair, antique walk, and I bought that, I think, for $50, and it needs to be repaired. It needs a overhaul, and it's really hard to find typewriter repair places anymore. So I have looked at buying a new one, and I'm just not sure. A lot of them don't have that great of reviews. I need to change my blade. Look how much that made it all fuzzy on the edges. I looked at a couple of new ones at office places, and I'm just not sure. Not sure what to do. I really like this one. I've looked also, and I think this is what I just might do. I know that I have seen on Etsy that there are people that have some, and I might just go ahead and do that. I love typing with an old typewriter. I grew up typing on a very old manual typewriter that my dad had given me, and I used to just sit and type all sorts of things, stories and things like that. So by the time I got into high school and took typing class, I know I averaged about 120 words a minute at least, just because and those are on electric typewriters, of course, so you can go way faster on an electric than you can a manual. So I blew through that classroom. But there are times when I have sat and with my fiction books, and looked for each and every one of these words whenever I'm doing something like this, when I've got a quote that I know that I'm going to use. And I have spent hours looking through books for the right words, which I know is really Today, though, I just did not feel like doing that and decided to type it out instead. I like the look of book text. That's why it's, you know, coming straight from a book. I like how that looks. So I try to do it when I can, but I just don't have it in me right now to sit and look for hours for a bunch of words. Okay, now to figure out how I want this all to lay out on here. Do I want it to go across the bottom? Do I want it to go along the side? I think it might kind of fit all across the bottom. Just maybe I'll do that. Kind of like how it goes along with the way that the flowers go across. The other option would be to have it up along this end or up along that end. There's, you do it that way. This is when it's time to not overthink things, and it's really easy to do that. Really, really easy for me to start overthinking it right now. And this is one of those things that I'm sure that, you know, everybody is different on how they like it. I don't like that. I don't want it. I don't know if I'd want it up here. I don't mind that it is on her. Nope. Okay. Let's try it down here. There's a little bit of that flower right there that I think I'll glue that down. Just the tiniest bit of adhesive is all it needs. Oh, good heavens. Which is silly that I'm trying to get it perfect, because I just need a general idea on if I like it here or not. If I do, then I can mess with having it exactly the way that it needs to be. But here I am trying to get my fingers to work right, which they don't want to be today. And all I need to know is if I like the way that it looks over here in this corner. I think we need a sip of coffee. Sip of coffee and think about it here. Step back and take a look. I think that's it. I like how this is light, that's light. It kind of, I think I like that better than having it all across the bottom. But let's do all across the bottom one more time. Take a step back and look at that. Yeah, I like it up in the corner. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, my battery died, and I don't know where it died at, but in switching out batteries and whatnot, this kind of ended up here all messed up. And I kind of like it, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. I just thought it looked kind of neat. It's kind of like those words are in her head how she feels, and this is the straight and narrow, you know, but these are all a jumble. These are all straight and looking okay, which is kind of how it feels. So I think that's probably why I'm drawn to that. Which is a lot like what ended up happening back here, because I usually keep my words pretty straight. But on this one, I've got these tilted. So I'm going to sit here and look at it again. Where's my coffee? I had to move it when I was switching out batteries. So I was afraid I would knock it over and spill it on here, and that would be really, really, really bad. I think I'm going to do it. Okay, there we go. I like how that turned out, how it came to be. Okay, let's see what's next. Make sure that's dry. This is something that I had clipped from a book. It says, I sit in an uncomfortable chair in a waiting room full of strangers. And I thought that worked really well with this image, so I think I'm going to move the words around a little bit. So I'm going to change it to, let me get uncomfortable put together, because it's hyphenated here. Well, don't have a lot on here to there's not a lot on there on the end of this one for me to glue the other word on, so that's why I'm struggling a little bit. I'm getting glue on the front instead on the back. I had it on there and kind of glued it to the paper more than I planned, so it's sticking there. Let that dry. I'm going to take out waiting because I don't need it in a waiting room. I just want it in a room, so I just cut out that word. So I'm going to switch it to, I sit uncomfortable in a chair in a room full of strangers. So instead of it saying, I sit in an uncomfortable chair in a waiting room full of strangers. So I sit okay, let's see. Got lots of little pieces here. I sit in a chair and it's in a, not in an. I sit uncomfortable in a chair little teeny pieces here. A room full of strangers. I don't like how it's NA and A together. Don't like that at all. So let's see. This is pretty much the only way I can change that. Unless I just do it like uncomfortable is since it's such a big word and I said is little and all the rest of them are short, it's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. I think I'll go with that. All right. Okay, there's that one. I think this might be the last one in here, actually. I know I've got some other things tucked in here. but nothing set. Just some things that I've cut out that I tucked in here. That actually kind of goes along with that. Especially that is pretty much what's there. It's kind of pretty. I like that. Well, that was unexpected. This has been sitting over on my work area for a while, and I had just tucked it in here. I had cut it out for something else possibly, and it didn't work in that. But I think I like how that looks. Well, let's see. Shall we flip through our book here and see if anything stands out? Scoop my chair up and sit back down. Okay, well, there's that one. Kind of came together on its own. And as far as the words, when I was looking through that other tin, I ended up pulling out the phrase poetic promises, and I just really liked how that sounded. And yeah, so there you go. There's that one. And that's really it for what I have for this. I don't have anything else set out, laid out, planned for it. I've been needing to adhere these in for quite a while, so I'm glad that I finally got those done and in here. And we'll see what wants to go in here next. So I do have some florals cut out. I've got this sitting here, which I had set out. I was working on something else, and I don't know if it'll make its way in here. Even just that is kind of perfect. I like how the leaves circle around the gate there. Well, did we just do another page here real quick? You know, I actually really like that. I don't know if I want so much of that covered up. It's going to get covered up with that. Well, if I have it right up there. It need to go about right there. Well, I kind of like that. It almost looks like a heart. Usually I would want to line, just because it's how I like doing it like that, I like lining them up with the side of the image, but I actually kind of like that. I feel like there was something in here that had to do. Oh, this one right here says, wanders around hopelessly in a fog of grief and loss. Oh my goodness. That's pretty heavy for such a pretty image, but I guess that's how a lot of my things are. I've got pretty pictures, but a lot of times the words behind them are it's like, do I want to get the yuckiness out that I'm feeling, or do I want to try to turn this into something positive? That's a kind of go back and forth with that sometimes. My journal is where I process my feelings, so a lot of times it feels fake if I am trying to portray something happy when that's not honestly how I am feeling. So I don't know. I really don't know if I want to get that. This says a hesitant offering of love, which I kind of like that, especially since when I look at this, I do see this heart hidden in here. And actually, this kind of goes along with it if you really want to try to read into things or, you know, place meaning into things. It could be there's the gate, there's the invitation. You just have to open it and walk through it. So I think I actually might like that instead of wandering around hopelessly in a fog of grief and loss. I am feeling a lot of grief, but I can't say that I'm wandering hopelessly around in it right now. I for sure know very, very well and how I'm feeling. So I like that. What I want to do first, though, is I'm going to go around the edges of this. I don't know if you can see that very well, and this is a new camera, and I do have this bright light on, so it's struggling a bit with trying to focus up closely with the light, but there's white around the edges on here where I cut it, and that's not a big deal, but a lot of times I like going around that edge with a marker. So I think I'm going to do that, and that's what I've done a lot on this with this paper. So I've got a ton of Copics that I've had forever. And I've been trying to just kind of use them. I mean, I've had these forever, like years and years. So I'm just going to go around the edges here. And this color is not exact, but it's close. It's close enough to take off the white edge on here. I think after this one, I'll stop. I'll stop with this journal. I'm not going to stop working. It is 2 p.m. here, and this is how I'm keeping myself busy today, so I'm kind of not wanting to stop, because if I do, I know that that's a perfect opportunity for me to start getting lost in my head, and I don't need to be there right now. So I know that the best thing that I can do to combat what's going on right now is to just to work through these things in my journal. This is for sure my safe place to be and my safe place to feel. And at times like this is for sure a very vulnerable place to be for myself, just in general, but even more so as in sharing it with you all live in real time. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this, and I know I haven't talked a lot, but I really wasn't planning on it. And this is more just an opportunity for us to be able to be creative, not on our own. So I would truly appreciate hearing from you about what you think of this, of me doing videos more like this where I just kind of work on stuff. I know I share videos where I work on stuff anyways, but I mean more of just a quiet working together. Nothing planned, just working quietly. Let me see if I can find a red one. There we go. All right, I'm going to put that, well, let's see. All right, I was trying to decide what part I want to glue down first. I might start down here at the bottom where it's a little bit thicker. Well, I'm glad I looked at that image because it's really pretty. That's why I've had it sitting out, because it's like I knew I wanted it somewhere, but just wasn't really sure where. And now I get to have it in this journal. Oops. adhesive does not want to come off on this. You know, it's kind of weird. There are some images where it won't stick to it, and it's not sticking to this. Isn't that the craziest thing ever? There's just some magazines and the type of ink that they have on them, it just won't release. I really don't want to use a glue stick because this is thin. I think it's empty now. I just broke it. I was pushing so hard. Let's see. Try a different one here. Yeah, it's not sticking to the... Nope. Okay, well, I don't really want to use a glue stick because this is thin. This is thin magazine paper and it's going to wrinkle. So, and I don't want to use this because that'll really make it wrinkle. So I'm just going to try to put on the thinnest amount of glue here, adhesive. Put a little bit on here where it's going to be. Make sure that's straight. All right. My battery died again, so that is probably a really good sign that it's time to stop. So I'm going to glue this on and finish up with these. And like I said, I hope that you enjoyed this. Something quite a bit different than what I usually do. And I'm going to, for sure, actually move on to something else to work on. Let my batteries get charged up. I really wish I hadn't had to use a glue stick there, but oh well. It's wrinkled just a little bit, which isn't a huge deal because it just really doesn't matter, and it's going to be flat in the book, so it's just me being silly and not, I don't know if I even want to start to do this. Everybody's probably cringing right now, and I am too. I don't know. There's a wrinkle right there. There's a wrinkle right there. I need to not, so I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna tear it, I'm gonna mess up the image, I'm gonna put a crease in it, that'll be worse. So alright, I gotta let that one go. That's my perfectionism being ridiculous. So, and I acknowledge that. So it's just part of collage and part of working with paper and glue and everything else. So, and that's not what's important about all of this. This is just my space to process my feelings and my thoughts and to make pretty things. So that's what I accomplished. So moving on. So there we go. There's that last one. There. Okay, so 2 unexpected, unplanned pages in this one, which is kind of nice. So here's what we did. And like I said earlier, please let me know what you think about doing videos like this, what your thoughts are, if you'd like me to do it more. Please be a little, give me a little bit of grace as far as with video camera, since it's new and I'm trying to figure out the setup and sound and everything else, and I appreciate that. And most of all, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me and creating with me. I would love to hear if you worked on anything, if you did, what you were working on, and yeah, that's all I got right now. Take care, everyone. Please take care of yourselves. Please be kind to yourselves. It's the holiday season. It can be stressful for each and every one of us for a whole lot of different reasons. And like they always say, you never know what someone else might be going through. So please take care. I love you all so much, and I will be back again with whatever I decide to work on next. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.